Don't be fooled by this man's ready smile and easygoing banter. In a few moments, he will be transformed into a virtual tyrant, barking orders like a drill sergeant, critical, hard driving, sometimes impatient, always demanding.
In 15 minutes, get it immaculate. Make sure everything's hot and ready. Those warmers are okay. Does he need the ham down there?
Since it opened in 1993, Jack Ilias has been director of the highly acclaimed Commercial Food and Culinary Arts program at High Tech North in Cape Coral. As an experienced chef, he knows that out there in the fast-paced world of commercial food service and fine dining, Darwinian principles rule. Only the strong survive. And he wants to make certain that his graduates are among those survivors.
There's an awful lot of competition. I think there's over 1,000 restaurants in our town. So it's so important to send each and every meal out 100%. That if it was meant to be hot, it needs to be piping hot, steaming so they can see it. If it's meant to be cold, it should be chilly cold. Crunchy's got to be crunchy, creamy, creamy. And all these individual nuances of our dishes have to be considered.
Despite his passion for his craft, or perhaps because of it, Jack Ilias is the first to admit that a culinary career isn't for everybody. Not everyone is able to take the heat of the kitchen.
It takes a real special person to succeed in this business. Not only are we standing on our feet all day and working in the heat of the kitchen, that's kind of an obvious thing, but working with a product that you only get one chance at, everything's perishable, and fighting the clock every day, there's nothing like it.
The classes may be intense, but even with the daily lunch crunch, the High Tech North culinary crew manages to find time to cook up something unique for special occasions. High Tech North connects high school-age students and adults with the skills and tools needed to find good jobs in business, technology, healthcare, and marketing, and in the kitchen. As part of the Lee County School District, the culinary program is free to high school students. But even for adult learners, tuition is a bargain at $432 a quarter, which can often be offset by scholarships and other financial aid. Students have to be at least 16, but there's no upper limit.
My oldest student ever was 72 years old. She completed the program and went on to become the assistant manager at Yellowstone National Park Food Service.
Ilias says most students complete the course in about a year and a half. Many of them hold jobs in the industry while attending class.
I encourage the students to have a job while they're in the kitchen here. Working with another chef in a field of ours, they'll kind of get a double education. It'll come to them faster. They'll understand the why of what I say much faster if they're hearing it from somebody else too.
Tammy Russell of Cape Coral completed the course at High Tech North, worked for a spell at the posh Ritz-Carlton, then returned to school as a teacher, specializing in pastries, bread, and cake decorating. She says the actual cooking is a relatively small part of what culinary students have to master.
You got cleaning. People don't know that cleaning is the most important part of the cooking. You do more prepping and cleaning than you do the cooking. So it's hard work from the moment you get in to the moment you leave. You're constantly working.
Advanced students move into all phases of food service: menu planning, inventory management, ordering supplies. But Ilias says there's a lot more to success than sauces, sautés, salads, scrubbing pots, and buying beef.
To be a good employee, you've got to be more than just skilled in your trade. You've got to have good work habits. So we spend a lot of time teaching how to work together and the acceptable things and the things that an employer wouldn't be very happy with. We cover all of it. So how to walk and talk and dress and how to get along as a team is just as important as your skills. I need some maple syrup in his batter.
Culinary classes at High Tech North never reach too high into the rarefied air of academia. Students' efforts are not just reviewed and graded by instructors, then tossed into a dumpster. They're carefully arranged on plates and served to a hungry public. Each day, the class is responsible for preparing meals and feeding more than 150 customers in the school cafeteria, including students, faculty, administration, and walk-in diners. They include the school's assistant director, who Ilias says briefs prospective enrollees on what to expect in the kitchen.
He likes to personally talk to each potential culinary candidate And he's really good about explaining that the kitchen, the culinary program, is so much different than any other program here in the building. He asks them, do you like to work hard? And if he sees them kind of flinch a little bit, then he lets them know how difficult it really can be in the kitchen. And he gets into, do you like fire? Do you like knives?
Fire? Knives? What's that all about?
When we say fire and knives, if their eyes light up and they can't wait to get a hold of fire and knives, well, they're probably going to be one of us.
There is a palpable rhythm in the kitchen at High Tech North. Things begin at a relatively leisurely pace. Then the tempo builds to a near frenzied pitch as 0 hour, lunchtime, approaches. By the time customers start filing into the cafeteria, a sense of organized chaos prevails. Before one cycle has ended, another has begun. Even before lunch is served, students are busy cleaning up and preparing for the next day's onslaught. Elias is everywhere. Working elbow to elbow with students, he bastes, stirs, slices, dices, demands, implores, coaxes, and cajoles. As demanding as he is, students seem to respond with a respect that borders on reverence.
Working with Chef Jack is awesome. It's one of those things where he brings you up to that next level. You learn a lot from him, just like a lot of the other students have here. It's not only that, but it's something that when you go out into the real world, you realize the little things that he says to you here matter a big difference in the real world. Now here it's just a classroom. In the real world, it's a lot different than what he has here. So those high expectations that he asks of us, you know, it's a reason for it.
Very tough. But in order for you to be able to go out in the real world and work with these people, these other chefs, you need to already have that experience of working with, you know, a hard chef.
Each class ends with a detailed critique of the day's efforts. Every entree, every dessert, every salad comes under scrutiny for preparation, taste, and presentation. No detail escapes the chef's eye.
We boil potatoes, pasta, and rice. I went back there and I found the rice cooking on a diffuser plate. I didn't want to burn it, but it won't get enough heat that way.
So Southwest Floridians seeking a new career path or just wanting to sharpen their kitchen skills can always connect with Jack Elias. That is, if they can stand the heat of the kitchen. It also helps to have an affinity for fire and sharp knives.